Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to make one more video on an election prediction, and this is based on the polls from 2016 versus the polls today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the 2016 polling the day before the election, or the last poll before the election for 2016. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare that with the actual result in 2016. So let me give you an example here. So Trump, for the state of Arizona, Trump was up by 2% in 2016. He won the state by 3.5%. Okay? So that's a 1.5% difference in Trump's favor. So I'm going to take that 1.5% and add it to the polling that we have, the more recent polling that we have right now. So this is based on previous polling and today's polling. And if the election were to be tomorrow, who do I think would win based on that? So we can get started with Arizona. So Biden has a 1-point lead in Arizona, but as I said in the 2016 polling, Trump outperformed his opponent by 1.5%. So Arizona, since Biden only had a 1% lead, it's like 0.5% lead for Trump. And so based on that, it's going to be neck and neck based on that polling. Okay? And so Florida, let's go to Florida. Okay? So Florida is a little bit different. When I looked at the polling in Florida, Trump had a 4% lead in the polls just before the election in 2016. He only won the state by 1.2%. So that's a 2.8% in favor of the Democrats. So since Biden has a 9-point lead in Florida, that's the most recent polling data, Biden in this mathematical calculation would actually win it by double digits. Okay? As I said, I'm not trying to be biased here. I'm going strictly by the numbers. So I'm just going to go through now, since you understand how I'm doing this. A lot of conservatives say that the polls were wrong, and they were wrong. I mean, a lot of this was wrong, but not necessarily in the Republicans' favor, but a lot of the polling was wrong. Okay? But now what I'm going to go is state by state, and I'm going to compare the polls and either give Trump more percentage points or less if he underperformed. So let's move on to Michigan. Michigan shows a 1.8% difference in favor of the Democrats. So Trump underperformed in the polling in Michigan by 1.8%. And since Biden has a 1% lead, that gives him 2.8%. He would lead Trump by 2.8%. Okay, so that's how I'm doing. So we're just going to go on with the rest of the states. Minnesota, as I said, Biden had a 16-point lead in Arizona. I thought that was very high. And when I looked at it, Trump overperformed by 8.5%. So that's a difference of 7.5% still in favor of the Democrats. But it tightened up. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the next state. And that is the state of Nevada. Democrats actually overperformed Republicans. Trump underperformed in that state. by 2.4%. Biden has an 8% lead, so that should be an easy win for Biden according to the numbers. In New Hampshire, Trump overperformed by 10.6%. Biden had a 7-point lead, but since Trump overperformed by 10.6, Trump in this case would take the state. Okay? In Texas, Trump underperformed by 5%. Biden has a 1% lead. And so that would go blue. Again, in this model, that would go blue. And Iowa, Trump overperformed. And he's ahead in the polls. And he won the state, so he's going to win the state. Okay? Wisconsin, Trump overperformed by 8.8%. And Trump has a 1% lead in the polls, so he's going to win the state of Wisconsin. And in North Carolina, Trump overperformed by 3.6%. Biden has a 2% lead, so that's a difference of 1.6% in favor of Trump. Virginia, Trump overperformed by only 0.7%. Biden has a 12-point lead, so the difference is 11.3. So Biden takes that state. In the state of Pennsylvania, Trump overperformed by 6.7%. Biden has a 5% lead. Actually, the polls changed. He has a 5% lead now in the state, but that's still a 1.7% difference in favor of Trump. In Ohio, Trump overperformed by 1.1%. Biden just has a 1% lead, so it's really, Trump had it from the skin of his teeth. So there you go. Biden with 312 electoral votes and Trump with 226 electoral votes. Even if Trump carries the state of Texas, he still doesn't win the election according to the model. So there you have it. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'm not planning on putting another video out until a couple of months. Right now, Trump is really doing very poorly. Is it over for Trump? I don't think it's over for Trump. I think that he has plenty of time to cover some ground. Biden has not really spoke at all. And no one's really expecting Biden to do much now because we're really early in the process. So anything can change between now and then. Just because the polls are looking good for Biden, just because the poll difference, as I calculated, is still looking good for Biden, it's still not over yet. So that's my thoughts. As I said, probably sometime towards the end of August, I'll go ahead and do another video. Okay, as these videos, I mean, they're great, doing these election prediction videos, but we are still way early in the game. It's kind of like, who's going to win the Super Bowl after week 4 in the NFL season? Do you know? No, not really. Okay. I mean, you can default to New England, but you can't do that anymore, can you? So that's my take on it. It's way early in the game, but this is what I have based on the polling differences. Let me know what you think about that. Like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.